This is the Shanice Lewis Show, the #1 podcast for plus-size women. With your host, the queen of curvy conversation, Shanice Lewis.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Shanice Lewis. Today is Wednesday, September 18th, 2019. Make sure you're following this show's social media pages on Facebook at The Shanice Lewis Show and on Instagram and Twitter at Shanice Show. And make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app. Today, we have a very special guest. Leah V is an international hijabi social media influencer with over 1 million views combined and a new author of Unashamed Musings of a Fat Black Muslim. She plays many roles as an educator, public speaker, plus-size model, recipient of numerous awards, and as an activist who's been featured by BuzzFeed, Yahoo, CBS, CBC, Huffington Post, 17 Magazine, and the New York Times. In addition to landing national and international features, she's worked on projects with Adidas, Polaroid, Refinery 29, and Nylon Magazine. And we're so excited to speak with her today. Let's welcome Leah to the show. Now, we had some technical difficulties a little earlier, but hopefully we can get her on the line clear. We have so much to talk about, including her new book that's coming out very soon. So we're going to try and see if we can get Leah on the line again. This is a live stream, so sometimes there's some glitches, but always great content. So I know as soon as she gets on the line, it's going to be an awesome interview. So again, Leah's book is Unashamed Musings of a Fat Black Muslim, and she is a published author with a book deal. So this is very exciting for her and her brand, and she has a lot of exciting things going on that we're going to learn about today. We're just going to give her a few minutes to call back in. And while we are waiting for her, make sure you're following this show's social media pages. As I said, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and we are on all of the podcasting apps. Subscribe and rate on the podcasting apps, and when you subscribe, you get a notification every time there's a new show, so you never miss an episode. You might miss it with social media because of the algorithm. Sometimes things come in your news feeds and sometimes it doesn't. But subscribing, you get the notification right to your phone. All right. I think we are ready to go. Leah?
Yes.
All right. So we are back, and we are excited to have Leah on the show. She has a lot of exciting things going on. How you doing today, Leah?
I'm doing better.
So, were you confident growing up, or was that something you had to grow into as an adult?
Yeah, I think it's something that I had to grow into as an adult. When I was younger, growing up in Detroit, I was always plus size. And I was also Muslim at a time where Muslims weren't really in the media like that, so nobody knew what was going on with my scarf, my hijab. And so I very much so had self-esteem issues and identity issues that led to all types of things, like eating disorders and self-hate of my brown skin. And it's something that I definitely have to go into as I've gotten older and kind of explore what it is to be a fat black Muslim living in America.
And how did being Muslim specifically play a role in your life where that would give you more obstacles versus being Christian in America?
Yeah. So, unfortunately, right now we're at a time where a lot of marginalized people are being attacked, not just Muslims, but with Muslims specifically. The media has portrayed us to be either two kinds of things. Either you're a terrorist or you are an oppressed Muslim woman. And so the media constantly portrays that you don't really get that big of a push of negativity with Christianity as much as you do Islam in the news. And so a lot of people will come up to me and think that I am those stereotypes. And it's really difficult sometimes because you're like, we're all different, we're all human beings. Like, let's not play ourselves a game. But it's difficult being America, and not even just America, but just abroad as well. Because like in Paris, they have the hijab ban and the burkini ban. So, yeah.
And you mentioned you're originally from Detroit. Now, what made you relocate to New York? Was it for your career?
Yeah, so Detroit is a very interesting place. It's going through a lot of changes right now. I think that when our black mayor, he got arrested and tried and indicted with all those things he was doing, and we had a white mayor take place. And now we're seeing a lot of different changes, not necessarily to boost the African-American community there and the culture that is so rich in Detroit. I think the media, again, is portraying Detroit to be like, oh, it's on the come up, but it's on the come up for certain kind of people, you know what I mean? And so with that said, as a fat black Muslim artist, I felt like I can no longer thrive in Detroit. And so I came to New York because it's so effortlessly diverse here. They also have an infrastructure for what I do. And I've met I've only been here for like 6 months, but I've met so many people that I would never have access to in Detroit. So it was mostly for my brand, to build my brand and my business.
So how did you discover the plus size community initially and get active?
So it was through Instagram, as usual. I was going through all types of identity and eating disorders, stuff like that. And my friends, I had already had Facebook. My friends were like, girl, you need to get on Instagram because it's a lot of stuff on there. I'm just like, I already have Facebook. So I don't feel like I need to have another social media platform. And this was in 2013. And I finally got Instagram, and I stumbled upon the hashtag plus size model. And, like, my whole world changed. Like, I think the first picture that I've seen of, like, a plus-size black woman, big breasts, big hips, killing it was Essie Golden, who I actually got to meet this year in person. I've been a big fan of hers for so many years, and she's, a lot of the reason why I started this journey. And from the plus-size model hashtag, I basically was, like, following all the body positive activists, the bloggers, the influencers, and they truly showed me what it was to love your body, love the body you are in now, and not the body you could have or you used to have back in the day. And that honestly opened my eyes up to so many possibilities of what it is to be fat, black, and Muslim in America and how to live my best life.
Now, did you have any obstacles trying to get your brand off the ground as a model and as a blogger while being someone who dresses modestly?
Oh yeah, for sure. I still come across those issues, or even on set when I do get the gig. But it's definitely been a whirlwind of no's because people, unfortunately, they can't see past what they're already doing or what's already popular. And right now we see, and I'm not trying to shade nobody who does this, but we see right now is just like the sex sales, and I'm gonna post a booty, I'm gonna post my boobies. And I come in like, hey, I'm a modest model, but I'm also fierce and sexy. And so I have to do a lot of my own promotion, put my own money into trying to do photo shoots and find photographers. And some photographers even just was like, I think you're cool. I see what you're doing. And can I help you by, allowing free pictures? Sorry, one second.
That's all right. We know you're in New York City.
Yeah, it's always loud here, always, every day. But anyway, and so I came across a lot of people who was like, you'll never make it because you can't model in lingerie. You can't do bikinis. You can't do all this stuff. You have a hijab on your head. You you're short. You can't walk in heels, so you can't. And I just kept building my own table, building my own seat, and people started messing with me heavy and respected that I would not break from all the no's I was getting. And I guess companies and brands started seeing like, dang, well, okay, she got a following. People take her seriously. Let's invest in her. And so I'm still to this day, I'm still shocked when I get like a gig or a commercial. I'm like, oh wow, like, it's amazing. I'm so humbled by those experiences because like I'm the only like visibly Muslim, fat plus size model that's signed to an agency.
So do you think your activism differs from the mainstream body positivity, or you think it's all the same?
I do think it of course, overlaps because you have the plus size models who don't really do a lot of activism, but they just kind of show their bodies and like activism is in all forms, right? There are other people who are just like fat acceptance. Some are just like straight, like they're doing the body positive work, and they might not necessarily be mainstream. There's so many different overlapping levels of the body positive. I think what I personally bring to the table is another level of religion and spirituality that sometimes is missing in the body positive movement. So I wouldn't say I'm doing something totally different, but there are aspects I think that aren't really shown right now when it comes to religion, spirituality, and culture.
Now, you are a new author. Your book, Unashamed Musings of a Fat Black Muslim, is coming out very soon. Now, first, tell us, why did you even decide to write a book?
Wow. So, yeah, it's coming out October 15th. I'm very scared, but so excited. I actually wrote, before all this social media stuff and modeling and blowing up like that for my faith, I've been a writer for a very long time. I found healing from my traumas in writing stories. And so this is actually my fourth book, and the first one getting published. And the reason why I wrote this memoir is because, honestly, I had just got divorced. My mom was very, very mentally ill and was being very mean to her kids, where I had to, like, distance myself from her for many years. My father was never, ever there. And I was, broke. I had 2 master's degrees, and I was living in somebody's house that I didn't really know that well, but luckily that turned out to be an okay situation. But I was tired of people's society telling me what I couldn't do, what I should look like, who I should be. And I angrily wrote this book, and I put all my trauma and all my stories and my triumphs into this book in 3 months. And, yeah, that's how it turned out. And so they liked it, and they wanted to sell it, so here I am.
So did you have any reservations about revealing all of these personal things about your life to the world? Did you fear you were going to be judged?
Yeah, I still fear that I'm going to be judged. I just actually talked to my agent and my sister. I'm just like, this is a mistake. I don't want this book to be out anymore. Like, this is something that I don't think you could ever prepare. First of all, when I wrote it, I never thought it was going to be published. That's number one, because the publishing industry is so hard to get into. Like, they decline hundreds and thousands of books every year. And so I never thought I was going to get a book deal. And so right now, it's just like, we have to see what's going to happen with it, because, like, all my business is in there, and a lot of people are going to be mad. A lot of my family members are probably going to be angry. But at the end of the day, these are my truths, and if you like them, if you get something from it, that's amazing. If you don't, I can't make everyone like what I say. If you're uncomfortable by the book, which a lot of people are going to be very uncomfortable, there's some things in there that's very, very raw and very gritty that a lot of us don't like to talk about out loud. But I think it's necessary. So I'm just preparing myself right now for the backlash and the love that'll come from the release of my stories.
Now, just from being a blogger and an Instagram, you do already have a little bit experience with online bullying, right?
Yes.
So do you think writing a book and this audience for being an author is a whole different ball game than the online bullying on Instagram?
Yeah, so I think that it's going to be a little bit more heavier because even So I feel like with Instagram, it's very important to me, but at the same time, it's nothing for me to beat my face and put on an outfit and, post something online. But this book is so private. It's like my baby. I'm putting 30 years worth of stories in this book that I've never told anyone or never shared with anyone. And so that it kind of feels like a personal attack when somebody tries to say something bad about that. There's actually been a few reviews already from a lot of white women for some reason, because the publishing world is very elitist and it's still very whitewashed. And I got mad. I'm just like, one lady called me vulgar. And I'm just like, okay, first of all, Susan, whatever your name is, chill out with those like names. A black woman's narrative from Detroit is going to be a very different narrative from a white woman who grew up in the suburbs who's not had the same experiences. You know what I mean? So I needed her to chill out with those words that she was calling me, and because she was uncomfortable with my story, and so I had to calm down and understand I would probably get a lot worse than that. But
right.
It's gonna be a journey, and I'm learning. I have to learn how to not take things personally, but it's hard because it's my baby.
So out of all of the communities you are a part of, which one do you feel the most criticism from? Is it the plus size community, the black community, or the Muslim community?
Wow, that's a good question. The most criticism. I want to say it's a toss up between the black community and the Muslim community. Because when I get trolled and stuff like that, or backlash, it's usually from either the Muslims telling me I'm not Muslim enough, or then people saying that privilege doesn't exist, and that I'm fascist and I'm glorifying obesity and stuff like that. So it's a toss-up between those two.
Wow. Well, you are going to be in for a journey with this book. Are you going to go on a book tour?
Yes, we're actually planning like a small one for now. I'll be in New York on the book release day on the 15th. I'll be at Strand Bookstores, which is really amazing because that's like my favorite bookstore in New York City. And I'll be at Stockies in Brooklyn. I'll be at Sort of Bookshop. I'm going back home to do a mini tour. We're looking at New Jersey, and I'll probably be in California as well in the beginning of November.
And so you can pre-order the book right now, right?
Yes.
And where can you do that? And where can the book be purchased?
Yeah, so right now they are on pre-order. You can go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Beacon. That's the publisher. You get it from them. Basically, anywhere where books are sold, you can pre-order. So, but also if you go to leahvernon.com and go under the book section, you can also see where the links are, so you can figure out where you want to purchase the book.
And do you have anything else happening we can be on the lookout for?
Right now, I'm just basically working on more modeling gigs and stuff like that. I just did a campaign with Torrid, which is really exciting. I got to do their
wow.
Working with them, and I got to be on set with a lot of like really huge influencers and models. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And we shot their holiday campaign, so definitely look out for that. Hopefully you see my face in their pamphlets and their social media page.
And tell us your official website and social media pages so we can keep up with everything you have going on.
Okay, so you guys can follow me on the gram at lvernon2000. And then you can also, I have a blog, which is beautyinthenews.net. And then my official website is leahvernon.com, where you can see about any features I've been in, any, where I'm going to be at, where you can see me, where you can meet me at. So, yeah, you can find me there.
Well, congratulations on all of your success. I really like what you're doing and what you represent. Hopefully we get a chance to work with each other in the future.
Yes, ma'am. That'll be amazing. Thanks for having me.
All right, and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, love. See you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
And thank you to my fabulous guest today, Leah Vernon. Make sure you check her out on her website and all of her social media pages. And make sure when her book comes out, you definitely got to get a copy. Very interesting content. I've been your host this evening, Shanice Lewis. Thank you for tuning in and supporting. Until next time, keep thriving in your curves and be blessed.
You've been listening to The Shanice Lewis Show. For more info about the show, visit ShaniceLewisShow.com.